What was your assessment after that?
I mean, I really enjoyed it. As a neutral, I think it was a good game. I think we probably paid them a bit too much respect first half, but they're awkward to play against with the two centre-halves. The left-back goes inside the pitch, drags our right winger in there. So they've always got an outlet pass for one of their two. But I thought first half was quite even. We had an unbelievable gilt-edged chance early on, which would have been in my highlight reel. So that would have been a good goal, but unfortunately not to be. And then the not turning point, but they get their goal. I don't think Jacob made a lot of saves first half. I could be wrong. I only remember what I want to. So disappointing that went in, obviously. And then second half, I loved it. I would have paid to watch it. I think at 3-1, it didn't really reflect the game. And then the fact that 80% of the stadium stayed in and clapped the lads on, and we got it back to 3-2, I was thinking, here we go. This is like a 1980s game. This is brilliant. Send the keeper up. Although the keeper's got very good feet, isn't he? On the positive. I didn't know that as the last man. But I just honestly felt like it was going to be one of them days. I thought Colo was going to get a goal. I just had a funny feeling this morning that he'd get us a goal. And there was a few little sort of scruffy moments. It just, unfortunately for us, it wasn't to be. And, congratulations to them.
Can I ask you about the two decisions that...
Which two?
Obviously, the first one, the ball out of play for the opener, and then the third one, which was the killer goal, really.
The first one, they're pretty close to it, aren't they, the officials? So I'm disappointed they haven't seen it, but they can only give what they see. But that is frustrating, and I think I know there's a lot of skullduggery and panto that goes on in football, but generally speaking, at every level, when something's wrong by the players' reactions. So no one complained about the second goal, did they? I mean, not that they could, but there's nothing to complain about. And I just knew at the time, and I've got, I can rewind it by 15, 30 seconds, so I'm lucky where I sit. But I just, it's disappointing if that, and it did, plays a big part in the game. The third goal, when we have a corner at 2-1, thinking, here we go. And then, fair play, they get up the other end and score. Finish the chance really well, but I just feel a bit sorry for my team. They're a great group. They give everything. They gassed out. I asked them to play with a bit of courage, and unfortunately today, and everyone says it evens itself out. So I'm looking forward to it evening itself out.
How are the players after that? Because they invested so much energy into it, and it didn't feel like it's probably one of those games where they probably walked off the pitch thinking that was a bit unfair, really.
Yeah, I think, and it is, when you lose a game and you walk around and clap your fans, sometimes it isn't the most comfortable as a football manager or as a player. But everybody in the stadium were clapping our team off. So I think that they should feel empowered by it. That's what I've told them to do. And I said that, don't play with any fear. If you want to play with fear, then come and see me. You can go in January. I don't want you to play with fear. I want you to be brave. So I think they'll take a lot of encouragement from their performance, as they should. I'm not going to spout off about Norwich's players and that, but at times, the little bit of extra helps, doesn't it? But I thought we were brave, we pressed, and forced errors, and I think the lads should take a lot of... It's weird with football, isn't it? It's a low-scoring game, so you can be the worst team and win, or you can be the best team and lose. I'm not saying that, there wasn't a lot between the teams, that's all I'm saying. If you take the scoreline out of it, was I proud of the performance? Yeah, I didn't like a lot of the first half, but I really enjoyed the second, and I told the lads that. I'd ask them to perform at a level. If they win or lose, I'll always be there to shake their hands, but they have to gas out. And they did today, so I'm not critiquing it with them today. I'll look at it and I'll show them back in training.
Have you got a plan to speak to the officials? I know you can't go in there.
I mean, on the scale of 1 to 10 of pointlessness,
yeah.
10 being high, that's a good 12, isn't it? It's a good 12. I mean, what are they going to say to me? So, and no one intends to make an error. If it is an error, I've got a funny feeling it is definitely an error. And it's just frustrating. It's hard enough to win football matches as it is. And in fairness, if it was the other way, I'm not saying that I would have asked the referee to reverse the goal. I'm not that much of a goody two-shoes, but there's a lot of people talking about, it didn't go out. Absolute lie, it definitely went out.
The Norwich City manager's been here saying that he would like to see VAR in the Championship. Would you agree with that?
He would like to see it after today?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. I don't know. I just think the game's getting more and more complicated. I mean, in fairness, we're talking about inches here and there. I mean, I'd have liked it today, but then you could argue that our goal was Colo's in his eye line. It could have been offside. So I'm not being a baby about it. Not often do you get, not obvious, I don't know what the word is I'm trying to say, but not so clear-cut decisions, possibly. You get the odd penalty against you, you think, oh my God, like I don't know if, and I don't know, by the way, when Caden got contact in the box, if that's outside the box, it's a free kick, and that's what drives me insane. So I don't want to make the game any more complicated. You chase a centre-half in the bottom corner, you breathe on his neck, it's a free kick. In the penalty box, it's got to be like virtual self-mutilation to get anything. It's just I don't get it. So I don't know if VAR will help. And then if you do have VAR, still someone else's opinion. There's certain things that are subjective. But I don't think anyone would complain today that both balls have gone out of play, and VAR would have helped that today, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm. Did you pick up any more injuries today?
I mean, I normally like to pick up 2 or 3, don't I? That's how we like to roll through the season, just pick a few up here and there. No, we didn't. Ibu was struggling with his back all week, so he took a couple of hits and then he started cramping up. And then, I mean, I really like my bench, so I'm happy to throw them on. But Ozzy, no. Mendes, no. It's just the fact that, respectfully, they're older players and I like to freshen it up. I thought T was excellent when he came on, absolute spray gun in it. So he's done well, and for Corey to score is a real positive. So yeah, some really good stuff today. And super Foz. He scored in 7 seasons or something now. I mean, I always joke about getting statues where you go, but Foz should definitely have a statue.
It's his best goals return, I think, under any manager. Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, what you're trying to say is, I know what you're trying to say, and I can feel it, mate. I can feel it coming through your lips. I love it. Yeah, you're right, mate. He's playing for his best manager. Yeah, you're right. What?
But obviously he's one player that you could always rely on. I know Callum has started the season really well.
Yeah, Foz is excellent. But in fairness, there isn't much of a decision between a lot of my players, and I appreciate your job to ask me, but it's like, could you tell us why Wardy and Wash aren't in the squad today? There's always some reason, isn't there? But you're talking about a Nats chuff, and sometimes it's a gut feeling as a manager. You think, do you know what? I think I want Kane today, because I just think the way the game's going to go, Kane's a little bit of a jinky McJink pants, and he tricks people and puts crosses in. And he was good, wasn't he? Another game, I think I might want Wardy there, or I might play Wardy Tuesday night. So you're constantly mixing things up. But with Callum and Foz, they're very similar and different, obviously, but Callum's got a bit more athleticism, and I tried to produce a team this summer as best we could to sign people who could run, because as you can see today, their second goal comes from their pace of play. So Foz is unlucky not to be in the team, but Foz is loved by everyone. Like, the staff love him, and he just gets on with business and absolutely no fuss. So I can put him back in the wardrobe tonight, sit him in an ice bowl and say, see you Monday, and I'll wheel you back out again. So Foz has been excellent for me. I love that guy.
Will you have any players back for Tuesday? I know Tom was obviously missing again today.
Barkenhausen?
Yes.
No Barkenhausen, no. There won't be anyone Dougie Fresh for Tuesday. It will just be the same old routine, I think. Tomo won't be back before international break. Barkenhausen won't. Callum definitely won't. Runes won't. Although, yeah, he will, but he won't, if you know what I mean. So no. Just 20 outfield I got fit, which is enough.
Can I just ask you a general one?
Yeah, that's what you like.
Heard you talking about the potential investment on TV. I'm not going to ask you about that.
Oh no, you can. I can't remember how straight batted I played.
You've clocked 2 years here this week, I think, which makes you the second longest serving manager in the Championship.
Wow, that is surreal, isn't it?
Well, that's what I'm asking. That's actually the question is. I think one of the good things about the Championship, there are 16 English managers in the Championship. So the Championship is obviously great for giving English managers a chance, which the Premier League is often accused of not doing.
Yeah.
But the turnover, as your stat proves, is obviously pretty severe. Now we're talking about. I just wondered what your take on that was. Do you feel like the Championship's a lot more pressure on the manager to deliver?
Yeah, I think so. I think that there's a bit of realism in some leagues, and in the Championship, I think you've got out of 24 teams, and this could be miles off, so I apologise, you might have to re-quote me if I've got it wrong, but I reckon 20 of them have been in the Premier League.
19.
Well, that's a good guess then, wasn't it? So 19 have been in the Premier League, and they all have aspirations. So, for example, if Norwich lost today, their fan base would have a meltdown, losing to a League One team, in their opinion. They have no more right to win here than anywhere else. But, so if that happens and they lose the next game, the fans are like, woof, manager's fault. It's always the manager's fault. And the manager misses it. The manager misses a ball going out of play. Manager misses a chance in the last minute. But it's always the manager's fault. And what ends up happening is, and I think it's really fuelled in the Championship more than any other league, all the fan base at the start of the season of virtually every club have an ambition of being in the top 6. And rightfully so, because they all could be with a good run. And they all can't be. And then the fan base get aggy, as they do, which I understand. I'm a fan of football myself. And then there's pressure on the owners to make changes. That's the absolute truth, isn't it? That's as honest I can be. So I do think in the Champ, if there's certain teams come November, December that it don't look like they can get in the playoffs, even if their players are where they are, they're an 18th position team with their budget. If you've got an 18th budget, let's say, or a 20th budget. If you finish 2 places above or 2 places below, you're judged within that. Not many teams of an 18th budget finish in the top 3. However, because of the world we live in, and half of it is panto and sugar and lies, every club in the Champ pretends they've got this like pot of gold. Some have, and there's always haves and have-nots. And I think some managers get treated harshly when they're playing against some really good players and really good teams. Doesn't mean they're not a really good manager. They are. I mean, I'd be interested to know the managers who leave, where they go somewhere else.
Good question.
So they're still really good managers. I harken on a bit here, but I remember when Hecky lost his job, he was ledge. If he'd have took Sheffield United down, so to speak, he'd have probably been the best candidate to take Sheffield United up.
Yeah.
So it is chaotic in the Champ, and I thought you were going to ask me, does a new owner mean my job security? Which would have been a fair question, if there is investment, I think it will be investment with David's continued input. However, if my team doesn't win, I'm no different to anybody else, so I do understand that. But there is, you wouldn't be surprised if next week there was a headline that so-and-so lost their manager, or on the bottom of the, sports channel it goes, someone's lost their job. And it is, you're right, in the Champ it is a quick turnover.
I think 17 have changed in the last year. 17 of the 24 have changed managers in the last year.
That's a lot, isn't it? What I don't get, and you don't have to put this on the record, it's just waffling, but if you bring a manager in and you want his ethos and you want his players and you want his style, if you get rid of the manager, I'm not saying sometimes managers, I'm not saying we're sackless, by the way, we have to be responsible for our results, but if you get rid of that manager and the next manager comes in who doesn't like the same style, same players, then, it's never ending. And then you can get judged between windows and they go, well, he's not very good either. Well, like, you're playing, I don't know, let's say you're playing tic-tac football and you bring someone in who wants to go direct. It's difficult. So I do think in the Champ, you're right. I just think that the expectation of every single team in the Champ, every single team, is to be right up there. So I even include the promoted teams with me last year.
I was going to ask you that.
Because Pompey fans will want to be up there. Oxford fans will think, well, we've been winning games, we've done well in the summer, done well in the transfer window, we want to be up there. But I don't know which club, if you go through the league and you think, well, in fairness, I don't, those 6 are bottom 6. I don't think any fan base would, and rightfully so, because they don't want to see it. But I just think that there's just so much history of Premier League and, being in the mid-lower of the Champ, frustrates the fan base.
Yeah. Great answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it was 10 wins in a row at home, stretching back to February or something like that. Do you feel a little bit robbed in terms of it ending in that?
Yeah, a little bit. Weirdly, I won't leave here with any anger. I honestly leave here just really proud of my team. They kept going to the very end, even at 3-1 down, kept going. So I really like him. I just can't be bothered to be angry. What's the point? All it does is upset me and upsets my life. I have enough anxiety as there is, so I don't need to, get angry. But the result could have been the same with or without them decisions. It's just disappointing that we don't want football matches. I don't want to do press conferences, ideally talking about what went wrong that I can't control. I thought what we could control today, we were pretty good on the whole, and another day we might have got a draw. And I don't think, I mean, I'm biased, but I don't think many people on the chances created today, if it was a draw, could have really complained. I thought it was a really good game, and if I paid for it, I wouldn't ask for my money back. I thought it was good crack.
Cheers.
No worries, thank you. Is that it?